Hello and welcome to the ADHD with Jenna podcast. Today we are talking about rushing. I'm sure you do it. I'm sure it feels like a very natural part of you, but we're going to talk about how that's related to your dysregulation and how it's making things worse, how it's affecting you, and what we can do about it. First, this episode is brought to you by the new ADHD dysregulation quiz, where you can find out if you're mostly in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn in under a minute. It'll provide 2 small things you can work on depending on your results. So it'll give you some action steps to work on whatever's coming up the most for you. And you can take that short quiz in the link in the show notes. Okay, so rushing is a major issue, or you might not even see it as an issue right now, but it is a big trait of ADHDers because we are dysregulated, but it also causes dysregulation. So this is why it is something that we're talking about today. So why is it detrimental? Right now, maybe you see rushing as the way you get enough done, the way you tackle limited time in your life, and it's quote unquote working for you. But it does also signal to the nervous system that there is danger present, that there's a need to move quickly, there's something to run away from. When we slow down physically, mentally, and with patience, we're going to talk about all these different elements, the nervous system can go into its rest and digest state, a regulated state. The state where blood flow returns to your prefrontal cortex, where you can think more clearly, more logically, you can prioritize, you can plan, and really be so much more effective in life. So when we reduce our rushing, your executive functioning is going to go up. But why are we naturally rushing? What is going on? When we're in fight or flight, the nervous system feels uncomfortable and unsafe to be slow, to be calm. Things feel urgent. We don't have enough time. It creates a cognitive distortion, meaning we think in a way that's not clear and based in reality. We feel like there's never enough time. We feel like we have to rush in order to survive, in order to keep up. And this ties into what we've talked about in past episodes, if you've tuned into any of these beliefs of I'm behind, I need to catch up, there's not enough time in the day. And so we act on those beliefs through our speed in both how we move, in how we think, and in our level of impatience. We can really see it in a lot of areas. And this is a big thing I see with dysregulated ADHDers. They feel they don't have enough time for even important things or required things or just life things, like making yourself some food. I heard that even from a ADHD friend this weekend. She's like, at home, she's a stay-at-home mom. And she's like, when I'm hanging out at home, I feel like I don't have enough time to make food. When I objectively do, but there's this urgent feeling that I cannot take the time to make myself a proper lunch. And I know many of you probably also feel that too. Or when you're working, you don't have time to even go to the bathroom. There's not enough time. I got to rush. I got to get this done. Or taking the time to do a hobby you like. I know for a lot of ADHDers, there's stuff they would like to do, even things you want to do just for yourself. It's like, I don't have time for that. And it goes to the back burner. Rushing, which triggers more dysregulation, skews our perception of time. It's affecting our time blindness. It's affecting our lateness and things like that. And it makes us see things from a scarcity mindset. That's what survival mode does. When your nervous system and your brain and all these parts of you are stuck in survival mode, it will feel like there's not enough time in the day because your brain is coming from a place of scarcity. It's never enough. I always need more. And this can really be dysregulating because obviously if it's never enough, I never have enough time. Oh my God, it's hopeless, right? No matter what you do, no matter how much you get done, there's always more to do. There's never enough time. It's a recipe for failure. We want to observe where this rushing and dysregulation is adding to this. So that does lead to a lot of running around, mentally rushing, and not a lot of really positive results in life. That's what sucks. It's a lot of hard work to be rushing, to be frantic, to be feeling like I'm always running the clock, chasing the clock, whatever you call it. Very tiring. I'm sure you feel this. Because we're dysregulated, we never feel productive enough. We never feel like we're getting enough done. And that's part of that scarcity perception when we're in a rush that can come up. So, first of all, I really want you to be aware that this is all perception, cognitive distortions, meaning the brain is not seeing things clearly. Just think of like a funhouse mirror, it's distorted. That's how we see a lot of things when we're in survival mode. Of no fault of your own. It's not that you're not brilliant and smart. It's that something else is at the wheel that distorts things. So imagine if you were wearing like funhouse glasses all the time. That's how you think things really are. So the first step is realizing we have funhouse glasses on of like, oh, I'm not seeing things completely accurately. There's no shame in that. It's just simply the way it is. And I know that about myself too. Even still, even though I really work on not rushing, and I tend not to, of course, some things will be like, oh my God, I'm late. And I'll be triggered for a moment and I'll be in a rush and I will interrupt that because I know it doesn't help. But that awareness of, I see I'm having that feeling. I see I'm seeing things in this way and I know that's not accurate can really be the first step. That awareness of that skewed perception is going to be really, really important. So as I go through this next section of what to be aware of when we're rushing and how we can interrupt it and how we can work on it, you probably will have some resistance of, well, I can't do that because I don't have enough time in the day. I can't slow down. I'm already not getting enough done. I need to do more. I get it. But let me just challenge your thinking a little bit there and say that might not be accurate. You may find when you slow down, you have more time than you thought. I really have seen that, especially it's just the most tangible example, but as an entrepreneur, having slowed down, being more intentional, being more regulated, I no longer feel like I don't have enough time. And I'm not rushing, right? These two can go together. Right now, the rushing soothes the concern that it's not enough and we're not doing enough. It's not actually getting more done. It's not. And that's a hard pill to swallow when that's been our strategy, not logically, but biologically, that's been our strategy to survive and to keep our heads above water. But it's not an effective strategy. All right, so there are 3 levels of rushing that we can experience: physical, mental, and impatience. So try and get over with, mentally being on the next task, being unable to stand and wait in the line. You're all jittery, right? Crawling under your skin. This would be the 3 different types. Impatience is probably a combination of mental and physical, but I do think it warrants its own topic. So first, physically rushing. What a gift if you experience this type of rushing. It's tangible. It's the easiest to work on. We can see it. And what is the remedy for rushing? To slow down. That's simple advice, but it is not a simple process. And that's the big thing with regulation work. You may find what I say, maybe at first is like a light bulb moment. Oh, I didn't think of that. But it's technically simple stuff, but the execution of it is not so easy. So this is why, that's why I have ADHD groups. That's why I coach, is not because, oh, I'm going to keep all this information behind the gates and you have to work with me to get the information. I give a lot of information in my podcast. I give a lot of information in my book coming out. I give a lot of information on my social media because I want you to have these insights. But to execute this stuff is what's hard. So you can work on this throughout your day, though. You can get started. Notice when you're rushing and actively slow down. Even if it only lasts a short little while, it's going to be worth it. You're retraining your system. You're telling it, hey, there's no bear chasing us right now. It is safe to walk down this hallway. You do not need to run. That's what it's signaling. And that is going to help your nervous system relax. It's going to get blood flow back into your brain. It still doesn't solve everything instantly, but it's an intention we want to work on. Maybe you're frantically washing the dishes. Keep doing what you're doing. We don't stop what we're doing to regulate, but take that speed down a notch. We don't want to signal to the body of like, these dishes are dangerous. We got to get out of here. Let's go, 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 go. We want to say, oh, okay. slow and steady. I can wash this dish at a reasonable pace. Like I'm not trying to get it over with. That's a really big thing you want to look out for. Are you trying to get things over with? When you are, you tend to be physically rushing. So you really want to drop that. Again, it's going to be uncomfortable because there's going to be a little bit of an internal tug of war inside of you. Your conscious mind is saying, there's no bear. I'm not in danger. It is okay to wash this dish, not in a rush. It is okay to walk instead of run every bloody where I go. I'm safe. That's part of you, but there's another part of you that has lived in the idea that you've been in danger, maybe your whole life. So it's going to go, we can't slow down. The bear's going to get us if we slow down. That's going to feel weird. It's going to feel a bit scary. So know that's what that is. When you slow down and it feels uncomfortable and you start getting anxious, that's what that is. It's the part of you, your subconscious and your nervous system, which next week's podcast is going to be about all these different parts so you can have more understanding of the different parts of this experience, are going to be confused. They don't know that you're physically safe. We have to show them through action that you are not about to get eaten by a bear. So you may have seen the trend on social media of dinosaur time. It's where like people shove a bunch of spinach in their mouth and like, I'm going to pretend I'm a dinosaur, just get my greens in. That's very cute. And if you can do that, you can try turtle time. This is when I very intentionally will walk like sillily slow. Like it's a bit silly, but it's a nice, strong reset of my system of like, it's all good. No rush. I'm safe. You're going to use this when it is a really good time to practice it and you're not going to feel pressured to go faster. So, a couple times I've noticed this really good for me, like when I'm leaving the gym. I'm not cutting it so close that I have to rush to my car and rush home to get on a call or something. I have a few minutes so I can really mosey to my car, very intentionally going very slow. When your subconscious and your nervous system starts to connect with the fact that there's no bear chasing you, it's really quite pleasant. It's like, oh God, that feels good. Like I'm just slowly meandering to the car. Even me talking in this slow way might be triggering you right now. Oh my God, she's talking slow. I gotta 2x this. Try not to. Try not to. That's a part of brushing. If you're going TikTok and you use the 2x button, I highly recommend not to do that. That is exacerbating your dysregulation. It's saying, I don't have time to sit here and watch a 50-second video. I need to cut it in half. Well, I don't have time for this. I'm not safe to be here and watch this short video. You are. I get it. Some people are. If someone's really talking like this on a post and you want to hear what they're saying, I understand. This is not black and white. But if you watch social media exclusively on 2x speed or listen to podcasts and audiobooks specifically always on 2x speed or 1.5 or whatever it is, we're dysregulated. We're in a rush. If you can't wait for the person to finish their sentence, we got some stuff going on there. That's more the impatience one that we're going to get to. So see if you can try some turtle time. Challenge yourself. If you can shove spinach in your mouth, you can walk very leisurely, even for 10 seconds, right? This stuff can start slow. You can chip away at this stuff. Okay. The second type of rushing you're going to notice is mentally rushing. This is more challenging. I get it. It's not as tangible. Can't see it. But we can start to become aware of when your thoughts are running a mile a minute. When you're trying to keep everything in your mind and not drop any balls. Oh yeah, I can't forget this. Oh yeah, what am I going to do that? Oh, the brain is rushing. So we want to take a deep breath. See if you can clear it just for a second. It is safe to be mentally present with what's in front of you. It's safe to interrupt all those thoughts. Part of you is going to want to hold on to all those thoughts, right? That's why it's going so fast. It feels dangerous to let any of it go. Some of that can be a fear of forgetting. Some of that can be your brain trying to figure everything out because it feels unsafe. Regardless of what's going on, we want to interrupt that state. The third is impatience. This is an even more intangible one, but you probably know what I mean. When you're in line and you're crawling out of your skin and you are fidgeting around and you cannot possibly stand there for one more second, we are dysregulated, right? We're feeling unsafe. That's why it's so uncomfortable. It's like, this feels unsafe. I feel like a sitting duck and someone's about to get me, right? That's what the internal experience is. That's why it's so uncomfortable, even though objectively waiting in line for 5 minutes for something you need to do is like perfectly fine. So see what you can do internally to release that tension. For me, it's often being aware of it, of like, what am I believing? I'm believing I need to go. I don't have time for this. There might be some thoughts there that are amping me up. I'll also work on a physical interruption of taking a deep breath, relaxing my shoulders. Even stopping talking right there is like there's an internal change that feels, to me, I'm just trying to express like how I feel it, like vibration and that crawling feeling to like more quiet. Like, oh, I'm safe to just sit here. And when you do just sit there and you do try to calm your body down, you can observe what feelings are there. Why is this so uncomfortable for me to wait in a line that you're consciously choosing to wait in, right? Why is this so uncomfortable? You might have this, when you're in the drive-thru, you're feeling very impatient. It might be when someone's, talking and you can't even wait for them to finish their sentence and you're finishing their sentences for them. We really want to observe that rushing in all areas of our lives because it takes the wheel and now you're living in hyperspeed, but not in an effective way, not in a logical way. Right? If it was giving you the results you were hoping for, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast because you'd be just living your life. You would not be seeking help, right? It's not working. So we've really got to be aware of that, being aware of the rushing, but also starting to point out to yourself of where, oh, this is not working. Like this is giving me some poor results in life. One, you're going to be more dysregulated, so you're not going to have the clear thinking. Your executive functioning is going to go down. So how you live is going to be less effective. But also, do you realize where like a lot of your day feels like I don't have enough time, I'm in such a rush, I can't spare a single second, but you also spend 2 hours doom scrolling? Like we feel okay doing that. Again, I get it, it's not your conscious choice, but this is what's creating a cycle, right? Yeah, then I haven't done anything for 2 or 3 hours, maybe when I should have been working or when I wanted to do stuff around the house or whatever it is. So now, of course, I feel like I'm in a rush because I just spent 3 hours doing nothing. When you can regulate all of that, you won't have the hours spent stuck. So then you won't have to feel like you're running around like a chick with your head cut off when you do get going. You can function more sustainably, as I say, right? We want to go through our day like, now I'm doing this. Now I'm going to go make some lunch. Okay, I'm going to go back to my desk. Right? We're not rushing, but then because we're not rushing, we're also not having those crashes, which isn't taking up a lot of your time. Imagine if you actually used all the time you had instead of being running around or doing nothing in those extremes. That's going to create change. So do I need to start seeing how the rushing is hurting you, or it's very hard to work on something that, you feel is helpful. But parts of you will feel it's helpful. This is why this works really hard, because you have your conscious mind and you have your primal self. Your primal self thinks, hey, rushing has kept us alive this long. Let's not slow down. I don't want to risk it. But your conscious mind is starting to become aware. This is hurting me. This is putting in me paralysis. This is having me crash. This is wasting a lot of my time. This is not feeling good. So those are the two parts. And so what we are working on is getting your conscious mind to become more of the leader, more in control. That takes time. So the first step here is to be aware of the rushing, be aware of why we're rushing. It's not logical. I know it might feel like it. Your brain's going to give you reasons. Even I'm late. Yeah, still not helpful, right? Like, what? Okay, you run instead of walk. What are you going to get there 30 seconds earlier? But you're not going to be thinking clearly. Executive functioning is going to be down. You're going to be in fight or flight. Nothing works well when we're in that state. I'd rather, be much more productive, be 30 seconds later, but be clear-headed, be present, be regulated, have all your mental faculties firing. and be able to be effective in your life. So the results you'll get from slowing down is a more accurate perception of time. Time blindness does get better. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but it gets better. You're more able to do things that will take time. You're more patient with yourself, like making food when you're hungry, going to the bathroom when you have to go, doing the things that you love or want to do, but you feel like you don't have time for. You're going to realize, oh, I have time for that and I have the capacity to do those things. You're going to be more mindful and thoughtful, which is going to lead to you being more productive and it's going to give you better results in life in general without working harder. This is why I love regulation work. You might be feeling right now like you are working so hard and it's only giving you, 2 out of 10 results in your life. And you feel like to get 8 out of 10 results, an 8 out of 10, that you're going to have to work 4 times harder. Does that math make any sense? No. What we're seeing is that the dysregulation has us working very hard just to keep our heads above water. What regulation does is have you get on solid ground where you can just stroll. You're going to get so much further, get so much more done with less effort, less energy required, less exertion required, less mental energy required. So you can have more by doing less. It's a beautiful spot to be in. So when you start to think, but there isn't time, it's true, I have to rush. Remember all that time you spend not doing anything, doom scrolling, being frozen on the couch, that is caused by this frantic idea that you can't waste any time. So we really want to start observing that and making those connections and interrupting the physical rushing, the mental rushing, and the impatience whenever you can. At first, it's going to start like a little chipping away here and there, maybe a couple times a day where you notice it. You very intentionally walk slower or slow down while you're washing the dishes. It could be when you're doing anything. It's really, really cool work because you can't do it wrong. And as long as you're doing something and having it some awareness about it, you're headed in the right direction. Otherwise, you're going to head in a dysregulated direction. The more you rush, the more dysregulated you will be, the more frozen you will be, the more time spent in paralysis, the more time spent in overwhelm, and it's a cycle. So what we're doing here is breaking the cycle slowly but surely. The power here is not the information. You need the information and the awareness to do anything. The power comes from execution. I get that that's the hard part for us. But just observe where you start to get into information overload. Even listening to my podcast, someone messaged me yesterday saying, I'm really loving your podcast, but I'm listening to like 4 episodes a day. Is that like not what this is intended for? And I said, well, slow and steady is a great way to be regulated. So it might be also seeing where you're consuming all my content, but not doing anything with it. If you feel like I just can't, that's your prerogative. But I just want you to observe where the consuming the content's making you feel better, but it's not actually making any change because you're not doing the tips and the things. It's starting to interrupt. This is why I have ADHD groups, because I get the execution of this work is the hard part. The understanding why it's feeling so hard, the grappling with the barriers that come up. That is why I work with people. Not to hand them the information, but to execute and troubleshoot and do the work so we can get you moving and executing in the direction toward regulation. So I do have the ADHD groups wait list that will be reopening in mid to late October. So definitely get on the list for that. That'll just give you the information of when things are opening so that you can have the option. Take the quiz. That's going to give you 2 small tips to work on, or just take what you've learned today. See what you can do with your rushing. It'll be interesting to see what comes up for you. It's going to be uncomfortable. And that's okay. You're still safe. If you feel so called, please share about the podcast in your favorite ADHD subreddit. It's been a beautiful place for people to find this podcast that would not have found this work normally. So that's a really helpful place to share if you think this would be helpful for other ADHDers. So thank you so much. We will see you next week. And remember, there's no rush.